Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Holiday Cup Ultra League Edition, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Hisuian Avalugg. Avalugg on team number 4 from my top 5 best teams for the Holiday Cup Ultra League Edition. Avalugg has a lot of good play in this meta. Shares the same typing with Aurorus, that being Ice and Rock, which is not the best defensive typing, but it does make up for it, much like Aurorus and having a solid moveset. It's going to be the safe swap on team number 4, along with Aurorus. Speaking of, in the back to close the game strong, Aurorus, one of the better closers in this Ultra League Holiday Cup meta. And the reason why is because it has Meteor Beam and has excellent baiting potential with Weather Ball, with Stab, and also on this team, on the lead, Virizion running Stone Edge. Virizion, one of the better Pokemon in this meta, despite having the grass typing, having a Sacred Sword as an excellent fast activating charge attack with Stab is amazing, and the coverage of Stone Edge cannot be denied. Allows it to fight back and really give Virizion a fighting chance in this very ice heavy meta. But before we dive into the featured set of the video, gonna start things off with some bonus battles that I thought were a lot of fun. And here we go, picking up a Venusaur lead. You don't see these too often in this meta. And I'm not sure it has the best play in the meta, to be honest. But here we are. Either way, we come in with our Avalugg, and we are gonna have to shield up a Frenzy Plant. That does hit for super effective with our rock typing. And they meet us with a Hisuian Avalugg of their own. Very interesting to see, as you don't see Hisuian Avalugg too often in this meta, and honestly, I'm not sure why. They do tank our first Rock Slide as they can, although it does hit for super effective, and we're going to let theirs go as well. And they will be able to farm from this range, but we've got loaded energy. We did have the energy advantage. Going to put the pressure on with another Rock Slide, and we do grab the shield. Not sure if we'll make it to the next one, and we do not, but that is absolutely fine. We can easily align our Virizion back onto this Hisuian Avalugg, and it's really only the fast move pressure that is doing any real meaningful damage to us, as both of their charge attacks are resisted with our grass fighting typing. And we do get that farm down. Gonna switch immediately into our Aurorus, and they've got an Aurorus of their own. Very interesting to see, super cool to see. They've got basically the same team, only with Venusaur on the lead. Again, I'm not sure that Venusaur is the way to go in this meta, but they are probably just working with what they have. We're going to call this feeling risky. Had to kind of call that to make this one work, and they promptly top left. They're probably like, are you kidding me? How could you call that? And we did. They top left. We win. Good game. Well played. Sometimes you just have to dig your heels in and really just call a bait, and it worked out in that last one. Here we go. What's not working out is this lead. We had to charm A9. We make a play into our Hisuian Avalugg safe swap, and they meet us with an XL double. Very strong pick for this meta. Gonna go for the Rock Slide. That is your primary attack. It does have Stab. Crunch is really only there where Rock Slide would be resisted, or where Crunch would hit for super effective. And we're going for Rock Slide number 2. They are farming for days. This could be a payback, and we kind of need to hold on to switch here, so we will shield. It is just a body slam bait that's resisted. Never feels good shielding up a bait, especially when it's resisted, and we will shield up the second one and just farm down. We now have a 2-shield disadvantage, but we do have switch, so we're going to try and make do with that. They do come back in with the charm A9, and going to throw the Rock Slide. Not the best timing here, but sometimes you just gotta throw to get the damage off, and we're going to try our best to make it to another one. We were not going to make it, even if we did throw on good timing, and that is fine. Coming with our Aurorus, and they've got an Aurorus of their own in the back. Very interesting. Gonna look to put the pressure on them with this double super effective Sacred Sword. They absolutely have to shield, and they do. And now we're gonna try and make it to another one. It depends on if they're going to want to over farm here. That is the key. And we will try to get there. But no, they are not looking to overfarm whatsoever. They're just throwing immediately. And that is fine, guys, because we did get a Powder Snow through, which means that we will outpace them to our Meteor Beam. And we do. They were on their 8 cycle. We were on our 7. Or we did have a Powder Snow ahead. So we're saying bye-bye to the opposing Aurorus. Getting that sweet attack boost guaranteed from the Meteor Beam, and now we are in cruise control. This Alola Ninetales can do nothing to our Aurorus. That Psyshock does laughable damage. We were going to make it to the Meteor Beam, and they recognize that as they top left. That's going to be yet another good game well played. I found that Avalugg was not too bad in this meta. It kind of worked out in a lot of circumstances. But here we go. Mirror matchup. Virizion on the lead on the opponent's team. So the way you play this out, you could play it a number of ways. And I do experiment a little bit on how to tackle this. But generally, you want to just stay in and take each other out. It's generally a simul KO. It really does come down to IVs as to who's left standing in the end, but generally it does lead to a simultaneous KO. So we're playing this out here, trading Sacred Swords, and after we tank this next Sacred Sword, we do live. We did sneak through a double kick, getting them into the red. Gonna make an aggressive play into our Avalugg. We knew that we were gonna have to shield one of these Sacred Swords, but I'm thinking that the energy lead will prove to be beneficial, as it's far too tempting for them to stay in and get some more super effective damage in, working to our advantage, giving us the energy we presume that we might need. Could always come in handy. You never know. And they've got an Aurorus of their own in the back, so going to go for that Rock Slide. They do tank 1, but they do not tank 2. And going to go for Rock Slide number 2 here. This will likely grab the shield. And again, gonna have to call a bait here. A lot of Auroruses just go right for that Meteor Beam to get that attack boost, but no, they bait us. That is awful. Never feels good. So we're gonna have to make a catch. Oh, it always feels nice to make the big catch, making the plays. You love to see it. They dump the energy on our low health Virizion, and we are gonna load up yet again and go for the Rock Slide. We do have back-to-back. We could arguably throw one more, but I didn't know what they had in the back. Turns out it's a Charizard, and they do make an amazing catch of their own, but we're saying bye-bye to the Charizard. Still nice to see nonetheless. And now they will dump their energy here. This has to be Meteor Beam. Weather Ball not going to cut it. It is the Meteor Beam, but our own Aurorus is in prime position. Avalugg really put in the work, allowing us to only have to get to a Weather Ball to KO. We outpace. We're saying bye-bye to the Aurorus. Aurorus coming in clutch, cleaning up with relative ease. Good game, well played. Man, Hisuian Avalugg can absolutely put in the work. And here we go. Cofagrigus XL on the lead. That's an awful lead. Going to make a play in the Avalugg. This is where the moveset on Avalugg really comes in clutch. Has excellent coverage in the form of Crunch, allowing you to hit these ghost types for super effective damage. We will shield up the Shadow Ball. We kind of really need to get rid of this thing. It's bad news for our Virizion. And we are going to go for the Crunch here. They can definitely tank 1. They have a really difficult time tanking 2. We know that, so we are going to put the pressure on them and hopefully get that shield back. We do outpace, and they do shield. We will expend our second shield because we know that we outpace, and a Shadow Ball from this health range would be lights out for us. And they are fighting us pretty hard. They finally swap out into a Charm A9. So not looking too good for our Virizion. They already have 2 really hard counters to our Virizion, and we do get off the second Rock Slide. So with that in mind, I'm thinking they've got to have some protection against Obstagoon in the back, and something like a Charizard makes a lot of sense. So just going to dump Virizion here. I'm reading at this point that they've got to have a Charizard. It's super common, super meta, and provides excellent coverage against Obstagoon with a Cofagrigus on the lead. So just going to dump it here, put in as much work as we can, get off the Sacred Sword, say bye-bye to the Charm A9, And now it is all up to Aurorus to make something happen. I'm reading that there's a Charizard in the back, and there is. And a Charizard with no shields is a very sad Charizard. They do get to a Blast Burn before we get to our Meteor Beam, but we tank that all day. Aurorus has some really nice bulk, and we do get to this Meteor Beam. Oh, there's nothing more satisfying. We are saying bye-bye to the Charizard, and we will get to the Weather Ball. That's all we need. This our attack has been boosted, and this Cofagrigus is hanging on by a thread. We say bye-bye to the Cofagrigus, and just like that, Aurorus doing what it does best, and that is close a game strong. That's going to be a good game, well played. Those bonus battles were a lot of fun, but we now move into the featured set of the video, picking up a decent lead in the form of Aurorus. They make a play in the Charizard, and we come in with our Aurorus. A slight misplay here, but make no mistake about it, Aurorus does have a decent matchup against Charizard, but when you have something like a Hisuian Avalugg, that's what you want to meet a Charizard with. So, slight misplay here, but we can work our way out of this. The reason why a Hisuian Avalugg is the way to go is because you do outpace to the double super effective Rock Slides with Stab, while also resisting the fast move pressure, much like Aurorus does. So we're able to play our way out of a slight misplay, but that is okay. Gonna go for the Weather Ball. It does not KO, but I'm hoping we can farm down with the boosted attack from the Meteor Beam, and we just cannot. This must be a very highly ranked Charizard, forcing our final shield, and oh my goodness, they went Blast Burn there. That was insane to see, but I'm confident that we will get that shield right back, because they do come back in with their own Aurorus. We go for the Meteor Beam, and we do get that shield back. An aggressive swap back into Virizion, knowing that we had gotten rid of our hardest counter in the entire meta. I was liking Virizion's chances with shields down, and they've got an XL Altaria. Holy smokes, what a brave soul running a dragon flying type in this meta. Holy smokes. They're running XL Altaria. That is insane to see, but that is fine. They do take us out with a Sky Attack, and this provides excellent farm. We did get off a Stone Edge, which gives us some really nice farm with our Hisuian Avalugg, but we are not out of the woods just yet. This Aurorus does have energy, and shields are down, and that is scary when you're faced with that sort of situation, so gonna have to make a catch. And my goodness, did this come in super clutch that allows us to win the game. We get to this Rock Slide. Holy smokes. Had to make that play to pull this one out. It was very close, but we are saying bye-bye to the Aurorus, courtesy of our Hisuian Avalugg. Coming in clutch and bringing it home for us. You'll love to see it. That's going to be yet another good game. Well played. Really had to find the win con in that last one, and I'm glad it paid off. And here we go, another Virizion, nice shiny Virizion on the lead. Again, pretty neutral lead, and like I said, I was kind of experimenting with the best way to play this. It really does come down to IVs as to who is left standing in the end, and you basically just trade Sacred Swords. That's usually how it goes, and that is exactly what is happening here. We do live a few of these Sacred Swords, no problem, and they usually overfarm for fear of the opponent catching. So that's exactly what they're doing. They're overfarming, throwing on awkward timing just to make sure that they don't get their move caught. We're picking up on that, and we obviously don't want to catch a move anyways. We know that we're just one off, so just going to throw this Sacred Sword. And if they don't shield us, we will win lead, and that would be amazing. But we are low health. Reading that there's another ice type. There are 2 ice types in the back. And there's a wall rain. This is why team number 4 from my top 5 best teams is the better way to go than what we have been seeing lately. We tank an EQ, no problem. That's the power of Hisuian Avalugg. I wasn't sure if they'd bait, but we do hang on and survive. They tank our Rock Slide. They're not tanking a second one, and we are going for it. They're going to have to shield here, or it would be lights out for this wall rain. And they do shield. We now have the shield advantage. They were able to farm us down. Our Virizion is low. We don't want them farming our Virizion down, so Gotta come in and trust in our Aurorus with a 2 shield advantage. And this wall rain is not giving us any indication that they're looking to bait, so we're shielding. We would have survived that, but better to play it safe than sorry. And we're gonna look to catch the next move. They are getting super aggressive, and we're going to turn that aggression right back onto them, reading them like a book. All they seem to know how to do is throw EQs. We read that, and we're going for the big meteor beam, and we do take out the annoying wall rain. And they do have an Aurorus of their own in the back. Excuse me, very common team comp that we were seeing from day one. They let it go, knowing that we had the energy lead. They had to call a bait, but we're not baiting, just as they were not baiting, and we do take it in the end. That's going to be yet another good game, well played. Telling you guys, a lot of people sleep on the power of Hisuian Avalugg, but my goodness, it can put in the work. And another Venusaur lead, holy smokes. People are actually running Venusaur in this meta. That is so interesting to see. They allow us to get quite the energy lead before swapping out. They likely wanted to bank a move, and they make a play into an Ampharos, but we are absolutely loaded. They do tank our first Rock Slide, and we are going for Rock Slide number 2. We know that we tank one of any move outside of a big, massive move like a massive Zap Cannon or Focus Blast, of course. But they did not build up to it. We know that this is just a brutal swing, and one Powder Snow does the trick. Now, they do come back in with the Venusaur, and they have beautiful timing and counting. They play right to the CMP Tide, denying us that energy, and that is fine. So at this point, I'm reading what they need to have coverage for. They need steel coverage, and I'm reading that there's a Charizard in the bag. It's the most commonly used Pokemon in this meta, so I think it's safe to assume that there is likely a Charizard in the bag. So gonna just dump Virizion here. We tank a Sludge Bomb all day, and there it is, right on cue. Our team read was right on point. Gonna just put the pressure on the Charizard, grab a shield with the threat of the Stone Edge. They do shield, which means that it is Aurorus time. Our Virizion is just about done, putting all the hope and faith into Aurorus. Up a shield. We do tank a Blast Burn, but gonna just shield up here and try and get rid of this Charizard. Gonna go right for the Meteor Beam. Even if they do shield, it does raise our attack, boosting the fast move pressure that we can put out onto this Charizard here. And they are close to back-to-back Blast Burns. They're just going straight forward. Gonna shield one. We have to shield one, and we know that we're gonna have to tank one. But like I said, Aurorus has some underrated bulk in this meta. We tanked that Blast Burn, no problem. And because we boosted our attack, we don't really even need to undercharge this because we have basically back-to-back Weather Balls, and they do aggro swap back into the Venusaur. Aurorus going on a rampage, taking over the game. We say bye-bye to the Venusaur, and we Powder Snow down the annoying Charizard. Holy smokes. Aurorus can absolutely take over a game and close it strong. You'd love to see it. Good game, well played. Oh, team number 4 from my top 5 best teams for the Holiday Cup was really putting in the work. And here we go. Powder Snow A9 on the lead. That's a terrible lead. We make a play into our Avalugg. They throw 2 Powder Snows and make the play into their Snorlax. Pretty neutral matchup here. We have to watch out for the double super effective superpowers. And I'm debating on if I want to give up a shield here in this mid-game matchup. Gonna go for this next Rock Slide, and seeing that we grab the shield, I'm fine if they want to just go right for the superpower. It's really a coin flip as to what they're gonna do. 1 minute you shield up the superpower, the next minute you don't, and they bait. So not messing around and playing those silly games. Just gonna take the shield advantage and come back in with our Virizion. And we will look to farm this Snorlax all the way down. They threw that superpower, lowering their defense and attack by 1 stage. So we tank these body slams all day and absolutely load up on energy. Assuming that they will come back in with the A9. So we're going to bank that energy. There could be something in the bag to where that energy could really come in handy down the line. So We make the play into our Aurorus, and we were comfortable doing this as well because they are running Powder Snow, which makes this matchup a lot better for Aurorus. Gonna go right for this big Meteor Beam, grab the shield, and we have boosted our attack with that Meteor Beam. And they are farming for days. They're likely gonna look to go right for another big dazzling gleam, so we will shield that up. And it's a bait, would you know it, but it does not matter. We get to this Meteor Beam. They have no shields, and we're saying bye-bye to the Alolan Ninetales, and oh, looky, surprise, surprise, they've got a Charizard in the back. Shocker, but that is fine. As we saw in all of those previous matchups, we tank a Blast Burn, no problemo. We get to the Meteor Beam, and we are going to be sending this Charizard packing. We say bye-bye to the Charizard. Aurorus, holy smokes, what a closer. Probably one of the top 3 closers in the entire meta, and we saw evidence of that right there. Good game, well played. Yeah, guys, if you're wondering, team number 4, pretty darn solid overall. And here we go. Not with a lead like this. We had a Giratina. That's a terrible lead. We make a play into our Hisuian Avalugg, and they meet us with a Shadow Snorlax. So, gonna go for this Rock Slide here. They definitely tank a Rock Slide, no problem. But it is a Shadow, and the Powder Snow plus another Rock Slide, I think, would get the job done against this Snorlax here. Gonna shield. I had a feeling they were gonna bait, but again, it's a coin toss. It really is a 50-50 shot as to what they're gonna go for. You could try and analyze and think what their best mode of attack would be, but then there's no accounting for them going against the grain. So it really is a coin toss. But we do grab the second shield, and at this point, I think I'm going to take the shield advantage and run. And they do go right for the superpower there. So this does not leave us very much farm, but we're gonna hope for the best here. They do still have that Giratina in the back, which is a nightmare. And gonna look to farm this Snorlax all the way down. And we're gonna immediately swap into our Aurorus, and they've got an Obstagoon. That's not what we wanted to see. Holy smokes. So yeah. The RPS phenomenon strikes yet again here in this situation. Not to an egregious extent as that Snorlax was not completely a hard counter, but let's be real, it's RPS, guys, and we do top left, I think, here soon. We really needed there to be a Charizard in the back, but Obstagoon completely threw us off, and it is just not going to happen. Even up a shield, our Virizion's just not healthy enough. We need like 3 or 4 of these hard-hitting Stone Edges to take out this Giratina. It is just not going to happen, and I do believe we top left here after throwing this Stone Edge, so got RPS, then that last one. All good things must come to an end, and no, we go down with the ship. Should have top left. I don't know what we were doing there, but yeah, that one was a little rough in the end. But again, guys, you can't win them all. So yeah, team number 4 was pretty solid overall. You do have to get a little bit creative as both Pokemon in the back are double weak to fighting type damage. But I think Avalugg really makes up for that with the coverage. Has excellent coverage in this meta, and we saw that in these battles. It was a lot of fun and pretty effective. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.